You guys are in my seats.
How amazing is this? Woo! You guys are better than all the 12 cups of coffee I've had today, let me tell you. So if I'm talking really fast, it's because of you guys. Yes. All right, so let's get started. What do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want to know? Ask me anything I know.
We have a question. We have some question for you.
Yes.
I never seen the show.
Okay, we have a question. What was your name, gentlemen?
My name is. I never seen show, and I would like you to explain, please, for us what is show about.
I can give you the soccer score if you want. Do you want the soccer score?
Please stick to show, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Yakov.
Yakov. Okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, Yakov, who looks strangely familiar, I can't quite place it. Maybe one of you guys can help us. He asked, what exactly is the show about? Well, it's perfect that this happens to be July 4th because the major premise of our show is freedom. Woo! Let me tell you, it's better to die standing up than live on your knees, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what it's all about. Next question. Sir, you don't have to be shy. Come up to the mic. It's okay, honey. Hey, audience, we may need a little encouragement. This young man is a little bit shy. Can we give him a little? What is your name, sir?
My name is Daniel. It's nice to meet you.
Daniel, and okay, Daniel. Now, what is the question you have for us today? Speak to the mic, please.
When did you guys first meet?
When did we first meet?
Yes.
Well, I think you can go ahead and answer this, Egyptian.
Stephen, this one is for you. Thank you very much.
When did we first meet? On the show.
A little more specific, please.
The exact date, I can tell you it was a balcony of one of the stunt guys. We always had parties, so Ellen was brand new. Came into the cast. I'd already been there from the beginning of the Vengeance season. And yeah, that was the first time we met, but I was a stunt person, she was cast. So.
Apparently, he had not consumed an alcoholic beverage in 10 years. And I said, want a glass of wine? What'd you say?
I drink to forget.
No, you said yes. It's been true love ever since, guys.
Actually, I'll ask you a serious question.
Yes, Agron.
Okay, Stephen, Egyptian, how long was your prosthetic and makeup? Let's entertain
That's
the
a good
people.
question.
Yeah, let's.
Prosthetic and makeup for the Egyptian role was 2.5 hours, which is why most people don't recognize me from I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, but he actually had some pretty intensive prosthetics he had to do. He had keloid scars. He had lots of contouring. He had a mullet that is actually Barca's mullet. It's his stunt mullet. So he had to have his head shaved bald, and he had his guy liner on. Let me tell you, ladies, if you fall in love with your man when he's bald wearing guy liner, that is true love.
Next question, please.
Next question, sir. Step up to the mic.
Hello? Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
Can you give me your name?
Yes, my name is Lucy.
Lucy?
Lawless.
Once again, you Lucy Lawless.
Not the same. It's different.
Oh, it's a different Lucy Lawless. Okay.
Yeah, it's the way you pronounce it. It's
you know,
foreign.
once again, you look so familiar.
I get that a lot. Thank you.
You look so familiar.
Thank you.
I can't. Do you recognize him?
I had a question about in Vengeance. There's a scene at the end where you, Stephen, you get a sword to the head. Sorry if that spoils it for anyone. Sorry. Sorry. And you fought, I believe, with daggers. And then I remember in War of the Damned, you Saxa, Ellen, sorry,
Yep.
you have the daggers, but
That's right.
in the scene you don't actually fight Stevens the Egyptian, so I don't know how she would get the daggers. I think that's an error.
That's a very
so
good question.
I don't know how that happened.
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
Lucy.
Thank you.
That's a little Easter egg. So what happened in a scene that they had to cut because of timing and everything like that, I obviously get a sword to the head, spoiler alert.
Oh.
I get a sword to the head. But what happens in a scene that you never saw was that Ellen, whose character's a kleptomaniac, you'll see several artifacts from different characters start appearing in her clothes and hair through the scenes. She picks up the daggers and walks off, and if you pause it when Spartacus, I don't know why I'm pointing at you when I say Spartacus.
He looks nothing like Spartacus.
No. When Spartacus kills Glaber, everyone's chanting around, and Ellen is holding those daggers in that scene. If you
That's
pause
correct.
In other
That's
words,
right.
what you don't see is me prying him out of his cold, dead hands.
Ah. So is that a scene that you shot?
It was a scene in my imagination.
Oh.
No, we actually ran out of time because chaos ensued for that last episode, and unfortunately, we didn't get to shoot that insert. But some fans pick up on it, so that's a little.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy.
Have a great day, Lucy.
Bye.
See you at dinner. Now, what special young lady do we have here?
Hi. I just wanted to say that you're my favorite character, and I love women who kick butt. And I was just wondering, did you have more fun making out with Mira or with Gannicus? Please say Mira.
You know what? I really wish that Kat was here right now. I mean, I can almost feel her in spirit. It's so bizarre.
Oh my God. So
yeah, I just feel like for some reason you're channeling her. But if she was here, what I would say is that my favorite kissing scene by far was the one that was not planned. Instead, it was the one that was stolen. And that was the fight between Katrina Law and myself. And Mira, after we won our fight, we didn't tell anyone about this. I grabbed her face and I mauled her. But I insisted the fact that, hey guys, I think this take got a little out of focus. I'd like to go again. And that went on for quite some time. They let us have all the coverage we wanted.
thank you. You're so pretty.
Of course, I'd love to see your face though, just to thank you personally.
I get really shy. So I'm just
you get
gonna
really
say my
shy?
Yeah. I like to talk with my hands a lot. So and I like to kick my feet.
Oh, you do?
And then do jumping jacks when my head doesn't move.
You sound like Hello Kitty right now.
Is it because I'm half Asian? You're so
Okay,
pretty.
now I definitely know that laugh.
Hi. Hello there. Hi. Hello there. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I-
I'm doing swell. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Lassie. I myself hail from Glasgow, Scotland. Where did you hail from, Lassie?
I hail from the Dirty D, honey.
The Dirty DGD. Which one is
Right
that?
there, we got another Dirty D right there.
I not the big D, the Dirty D of Detroit, Michigan. Is that right?
How did you know that?
I don't know. And you, sir, where do you hail from?
Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, Australia. That's right. That's right. I was just wondering, my question be, what's it like to grow up with two of the greatest brothers? You have the most handsome brothers and intellectual and talented brothers you could possibly hope to have. By the names of Eric and Brian.
You know what?
What is it like to grow up with such catches of brothers? That is my
Painful.
question.
How was it for you, Dunlevy?
No, it's great. It's always having a younger brother.
It is.
I actually owe a lot of my athleticism and tenacity to having 3 younger siblings, 2 of which are brothers. I really wish my brother Eric was in the audience today, and I could hear.
I wish so too. He's a great guy.
At least he's here in spirit, and that's what
Right.
matters. But if he was here, I'd say thank you so much for allowing me to tie you upside down in a teeter-totter and put water in your eyes for Chinese water torture. I would also say thank you so much for when I was. By the way, babysitting was so much fun. This is where I learned how to be evil. But yeah, thank you so much for letting me use you as a human mop when the floors got dirty by tying your pajama onesies together and using you to clean the floor. So I would say, yeah. I owe a lot of
You know, Saxa, or I'm sorry, Ellen. I think you owe a lot of your athleticism and stunting to your little brother for kicking the shit out of him so much when you were growing up. So thank you. Yeah. End of questions. We're done here.
Excuse me.
Oh my God.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
No, not you. Him. You.
Yes, sir.
You. Yeah. What's your name?
Steve.
Steve. Now I heard a lot of stories about you eating a lot of chicken on set. And a lot of actors, they was complaining that you ate all the chicken. Would you mind, please, telling us what is your relationship with chicken and relationship with Spartacus? And do you like Spartacus as much as you like chicken? I think everybody here want to know that. Don't you guys want to know that? I think everybody here want to know that. Please explain. Thank you very much. You, yeah. Yeah, you.
Answer the last question first. Spartacus and chicken. Which one do I prefer better? Chicken is a better actor.
Darling, you know we're on the show, right?
No, my relationship, we had a lot of time. I mean, as being the Egyptian, I didn't have any lines, so it was very easy. I didn't have to get into character. It was like I would just look at my stage direction. The Egyptian comes in menacing.
He's an amazing mime, ladies and gentlemen.
Kills someone. So I had a lot of time to play around, and if Nick Tarabay was here, you know, I would tell him how much I enjoyed working with him because he just made things so much fun on set. We were doing a scene one day, and there was a lot of chickens running around, and we were talking about what the Egyptian would be like if he had a voice. So I was like, you know, starting to play around with stuff, and it'd be like, well, I could be like this. And a chicken just happened to walk to, we had live chickens, you guys have all seen the show, and we had live animals. A chicken just happened to walk past, and I turn around and I'm like, chicken? And I started chasing a chicken around the set. So that kind of became a thing. Anytime there was a chicken on set, I would just wander off and, chicken?
That's how the fierce Egyptian speaks.
That's how the Egyptian, that's the reason I have no lines in the show. They just cut them afterwards. Chicken?
Excuse me.
So that's where chicken came from.
Excuse me.
Yes.
No, not you. You. Yeah. Do you like chicken?
I like chicken gumbo. I like chicken saute. I like chicken soup. I like chicken.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the rest of the Spartacus cast members punking our two guests. If we have any questions from the actual audience, you may line up at this time.
All right. Hello, I'm Steven. My name's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
And my question is to both of you. For each of you, what was your funnest scene to film, like, throughout the whole series?
You take this one first.
Oh, you know what? I absolutely was completely obsessed with the fight scenes. And there's actually a couple in particular. There's an impromptu scene where it's unfortunately in the episode where Mira gets axed, but it was where they're like, okay, so we feel like you should add a little bit more flair to this scene. We think there should be a little bit more than you guys running down a mountain. It'd be really great if you jumped off the middle point of the mountain onto a shield, rode it down on a Roman, and then went into a hanging block and then a 12-beat fight. All while Liam is on fire at this point, accidentally. His cape is on fire. All chaos ensues. In fact, this one right here is the reason why he doesn't have half of his face melted off right now. Literally pulled him out of the fire. So it's a sort of thing where there's just constant chaos and constant action occurring, and that just the adrenaline-filled aspect of it is just what's always kept me on my toes.
My favorite scene, again, well, I mean, I was there to fight. My favorite scene, it's a love and a hate scene.
Attention everyone. Exhibit Hall D is closing.
Get out.
Closing.
Exhibit Hall C will be open for the costume contest.
We wore ours.
Exhibit Hall D is closing. Please exhibition Hall D.
Bere.
Are we?
Hall C will remain open for the costume contest in the main stage area only.
That's not a question. Can you repeat the question? They don't even
So
talk back. It's so weird.
Favorite scene? It's a love and a hate scene, but it's definitely the final battle sequence I have with Onomaus and Gannicus. And both Dusty and Peter did an amazing job in that sequence. It was when I found out that the reason they brought my character in and everything like that was because they were taking out Peter's character. They were taking out Onomaus. It was, you know, such a heart-wrenching thing because I loved, when I first watched the show, I loved that character the most. But it's definitely, it was such a long day. It was 2 14-hour days to film that sequence, but just working with those two was so much fun. Yes.
And speaking of Dustin, I would say it was amazing to die in his arms. It's even better falling asleep in his. Ooh, that's right, guys. You didn't know that? This is my honey bunny. Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? You should see the amount of weapons in her house. It's kind of ridiculous, right?
All right. Thank you, guys.
My fellow Sparties.
Hey.
Girls versus guys. Who will win a match between Mira, Navia, and Saxa versus Tiberius, Caesar, and the Egyptian?
You said
real life?
Tiberius, Caesar, and
The Egyptian.
the
Oh.
oh.
Because Caesar would be too busy doing his hair. Tiberius would be...
What would young Christian be doing? He'd be rapping. Now, you see, Christian is such a young sweetheart, and for some reason, he's just really into this hardcore rap. So he'd just be like, whatever the deuce he's doing. So I would think Christian would be too busy rapping. Todd would be doing his hair. Dunlevy, I tell him to vacuum or do the dishes. He listens to me. So I think by default, the women would win.
I'll be chasing a chicken.
He'll be chasing chicken.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
So, how difficult, Stephen, was it for you to watch all the scenes with Dustin and Ellen?
What was it like seeing my booty, honey?
You know what's funny? Well, knowing Dustin, because before all of it, I was helping to train the cast as well with all the training and things like that. So I'd be taking Dustin through. So I knew Dustin, and it's the funniest thing because it's like going to work for us.
Very dysfunctional.
Very dysfunctional.
Rated R.
Very weird work.
Job.
But, honestly, I thought I would have a problem with it, and I never did. Maybe because I knew Dustin, and all of us on the team got on so well. It's the weirdest thing would be when we were all watching it together. Like when we would be at someone's house and watching it together, it'd be like, oh, what do you think of me in this scene? And it would be, you know, all the girls and all the guys, and someone appears naked, and it'd be like, whoa, hang on, whoa.
But that's something that's very important to take home, all the ladies in the room. It's so important to have a man that's secure enough in himself that he's not jealous of you, so you can be independent, right? I think that deserves an applause. It takes a very strong man to handle a strong woman. So that's the answer to that question.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Bonjour.
Good.
Bonjour. Glad you're here again.
Thank you.
So this question is for you, Ellen. There's a lot of talk on the fan boards and Facebook pages and whatnot, fan pages of Spartacus, about the evolution or devolution of the relationship between Gannicus and Saxa, and then Sybil coming in. A lot of people wonder, you know, had the series continued on and had we continued with the characters, would would Gannicus had ended up with Sybil, or was that just something that happened because everyone was going to die?
I think that at the end of the day, what was so spectacular about the Gannicus character is that he could not be tamed. He could not be tamed. He was a standalone warrior who, yes, he did fall in love. Yes, he did fall in lust. Yes, he did have closeness with other women. But at the end of the day, his true love was the battlefield. And Saxa understood that and never, never, never made him put anything before that. And because of that understanding, he comes home to the battlefield. And one of the last things I say to him is, I find myself once again in your arms. Und wieder finde ich mich in deine Armen wieder.
Nice.
So just throw that out there. But there's somewhat of a heartbreaking sadness to it, but also a little cheekiness to it too, kind of like saying, "Gotcha, but I'm dead." but because of that was the last thing I said to him, and that basically said, "I knew you'd be back because this is home." So that's to answer your question.
Love it. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, my question is for Steve. I know you had no lines in Vengeance, but aside from chicken, if you had to say a line to someone in the season, what would it be and to who?
If I had to say something to anyone,
That's a good question.
Let me think. If I had to say it to anyone, it would probably be to Asher, and it would be involving pay. How about it? No, I think that most of all, I probably would have. I mean, on Emmaus, I really wanted to say something to that character because he was such a formidable, and I think the character to sort him out. If you look at when we go in, when the fireballs are in the temple, the Egyptian makes a beeline straight for on Emmaus. He singles him out, and but honestly, I don't think there could have been anything said between them. It would have just been a look. Just an acknowledgement of that warrior, and knowing that, it was the Egyptian spent his whole life. There was a question before about the prosthetics, and I don't know if you've seen the photos that are up there. It's not evident in a lot of the on screen. They didn't really go into it. The backstory was there's scarring all up the left side of his arm. The Egyptian's character was he was a Egyptian general in the army, and at the time Egypt was occupied. He lost his army during the occupation. They were all killed. His troops, the men that served under him, and his family was killed as well. And in doing so, it sent him crazy, and he scarred his arms with all the kills, all the people that he had lost. On the right-hand side, he's got scarring as well, and he's marking off all the people that he's killed, and he needs to tally. He needs to make that even before he can die, and he was looking for someone worthy enough to kill him, and he was looking in that person in Emmaus. So that was, it wouldn't necessarily have been a line per se, but it would have been an acknowledgement that he thought he had found that person. Good question, man. Thank you.
All right, we got about 3.5 minutes left, so if you guys got any questions, line them up now.
Hi, I just wanted to ask Ellen a question. Do you have any hidden talents?
Actually, I was supposed to bring up the hidden talents. I was waiting for, we had a lull in here. Apparently, with no movie magic whatsoever, or even weapons, Ellen is quite lethal herself. Would you like to explain your special training?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but if I did have to say something, I would say my new obsession actually comes from a castmate of mine, a newfound castmate of mine, that on a film called Scorpion King that we both worked on, that was shot during the summer, comes out in January. But one of my castmates, Eve Torres, 3-time WWE champion, who's married to a guy you may know, Henry Gracie. And she introduced me to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And Honey here also does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And from time to time, we like to choke each other out.
Do we have enough room on this stage for a demonstration?
Oh, good.
Didn't
Manu demonstrate choking people
No, but
out?
he didn't demonstrate the. Wait, what about the rear naked choke? Who wants to see the rear naked choke?
Yeah.
All right. Zesik with the hand. Sit.
Oh, good.
All right, so I'm going to demonstrate. And like I said, this is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is one of the most amazing forms of martial art. It actually means the soft art. It's not meant to, there's no punching, there's no kicking. It's a lot about submitting the other person. So let's say, actually, honey, you can describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it to you. Once again, this is the rear naked choke.
Technically, I can't because I won't be able to talk.
In 6 seconds, you won't, honey. Make sure it's really, really, really snug, right behind the Adam's apple. And if they don't happen to have an Adam's apple, just think of like a python against the neck. Now, this hand comes all the way up to the shoulder, right? How's that feeling, honey? I love it. Now, it's pretty tight on his neck here. I haven't even started choking him yet. But once I make this contact here and push his head down, he has about 7 seconds until he's completely submitted. It goes for a nice little nap.
Let's get a countdown.
Now, honey, okay, who wants to do a countdown? Ready?
I got it right here.
Okay, as soon as you see me put my hand on his head, you guys start the count, right? Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, it's not every day that you can say you tapped out the Egyptian. You can't fake that, right?
And she's good too. Like we'll roll at home. So we both train at different gyms. Elle trains with the Gracies. I train with the Machados in LA. So two small BJJ families. But are there any BJJ practitioners out there? Anyone roll?
Any BJJ?
Yeah.
There you go, brother. So yes, there you have it. That is one of those special talents that helps when you're walking down a dark alley at night. Not that I suggest it.
I think that's the best close we could ever have. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Thank you, guys.